Hello everyone, today we're going to convert this locomotive to DCC. I guess this is kind of my Christmas present to you guys for being faithful listeners. This is a Lifelike GP38. It's pretty much the last cheap engine you can get. So this one I bought it on eBay. I don't think it runs. Um, I run these on DC all the time, and once I got them tuned properly, they run okay. So, first part of the video will be cleaning that, and then we'll be installing our DN136D decoder from Digitrax. Comes with instructions, so that's going to be fun to read. So first things first, let's see if this thing even runs on DC. How do you like the looks of these? For me, they look okay. It's the last cheap engine you can get. Everything's gone high prices now. I don't know if you looked at your stocks every day. I shouldn't, but I do. Every stock went up now. So people have money to spend. So N scale train prices will be going up again. But I kind of like these. So the first part of the video will be cleaning this. Let's just see how it runs for now. See if we can improve on that. So let's just add some power to it, then we'll see what it does. So it wants to go. But it's not really doing much. When your engine I'm about halfway up my power. When you do that, the motors warm up very quickly. So it kind of wants to go. That's good news. That means when I got it tuned properly, it's going to go well. For the shell removal, you just just spread out the shell and pull from under. And then there's two little tabs at the front that you can lift out. So go ahead and lift that out. And then pull the middle part, pull the little middle part out. And that will release the shell. And then there should be weights here that help weigh down the engine. So to make room for my decoder, I'm gonna have to make an indentation in this one. It's lead, so it's not very hard to move. I've got to remove this one to clean the engine, so I'm going to do just that right now. The little wire is pinched in there, but it shouldn't be pinched very hard. I couldn't see if the light bulb worked or not. I'm not planning to reuse it. I think this engine will get some nice new LEDs while I'm doing the DCC conversion. There's plenty of lubrication. You can see my fingers really wet from all the lubrication. Hey, these are little 5-pole motors. The motors are actually very good. What's probably keeping me from running, probably pretty sure it's a problem with the gears. Something must be wrong with the gears. Just testing out the little light bulb here. I have a power pack on the floor, and then that connects to my engine. It kind of wants to go. It's just it's like it's stuck in there. But the light bulb works. So that's really neat. So can you see all these wires? two leading from the back truck, two leading from the front truck. There's a black one here, you can a blue one, a dark blue one here, you can barely see it. But our DCC wiring job is almost all done for us. Just to give you a little bit of theory, so you have your wheels on the track bringing electricity to your motor. All you gotta do is splice in your decoder in there. So the red and black come from the wheels and the gray and orange go to your motor, and it's that simple. With the instruction comes a diagram. Also shows you how to put your LEDs there for wiring, and I'll be doing that too today. The only thing I don't know for sure is about the plus and the minus for the motor. That I guess we're gonna go trial and error. But first I gotta do a great job of cleaning this. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna drop the trucks. That wasn't too hard. That was unusually hard to release that. Now don't pull too hard on these because they're wired in, which is good. This helps us convert it to DCC, but it makes it hard to just drop it out. I'm thinking maybe this worm gear is a little stuck, and that's why the engine's not performing right. So I will want to drop this down just a bit. There's a little gear in there. I think the lubrication's gone solid on me. And then we'll just see if I can move I can hardly move the wheels here. So we've been spending most of our time on this to remove the side frames. Incidentally, they make a dummy version of this. I have one, let me show you. When you're shopping around on eBay, there's lots and lots and lots of dummy versions of this. It's not necessarily a bad engine to get. I don't use dummies because I like to run long trains and I need the extra power. This is what it looks like inside. So I don't run these. I keep them around for parts. There's extra side frames. Maybe you can use the wheels. Who knows? This fuel tank weight is kind of neat. I use the shell. This shell, other than the handrail and the back's missing, is really cool. The horn's in great shape, so there's a source for a horn. So I don't buy these. This came with a lot, with a whole bunch of other cool stuff. I did that yesterday. I bought a nice lot, 4 engines. Only one of which is really good, but the 2 other ones I guess we'll be using to make some revival. Actually, there's a starter set Bachmann one, which I actually don't hate those. Just like the cheap, I have both, you know, I have really expensive engines and I have some really cheap ones. Don't ask me why. When I get an engine that doesn't work, if I can get it going again, revive it, like I did last week for the 440, that's always a lot of fun to me. So yeah, I just bought 4 more, so that's about a month's worth of videos for you guys. Anyways, this one's gonna be out in time for Christmas. I always remove the wheels. Just pop them out like that. I'll speed up the cleaning process because you guys have seen this before, and I find a lot of people, they tune out before the end. So I'll just clean the wheels with my rag, and then the gears and the axles, I'll take them apart, clean them with my toothbrush, and then put them right back together. I have been running it for a little while, but now I've got it dialed in properly. Now I can worry about doing the DCC conversion. Okay, now we can worry about the DCC part. Here's my decoder. It's small enough that I almost misplaced it. So it's very small. It will fit in the car body, although a little bit tight, but it will fit in there. And then I have to make a little bit of room so they can clear my weight. I suppose you could be lazy and take out the weight altogether, but I want to keep most of it, just so I can have the locomotive being a little heavier. It really can use that. But I'm going to make lots of room for the decoder. I'm going to use a hacksaw. Now this probably contains a lot of lead, which is soft. It's easy to saw through, but you don't want to get any of the dust or the shavings into your system. So you want to be careful about that. Sweep the room after you're done and keep that away from your system. Definitely the hacksaw is a good tool for this job. So this part that I took off, I'm going to keep it for if I need to do a freight car. That fits very well in there. I can just put that on top here somewhere, because I am going to have two lights, one light for the back and one light for the front. So I'm going to start cutting this up. So while I'm cutting it up, I'm just remembering what makes sense. So basically I have to put the decoder in here between the wires from the truck and the wires to the motor. Like I said, the wiring's almost all done for me. I'm keeping the yellow and the green. They're the wires leading up from the track. Same with the blue, I'm going to reuse it. And this yellow one, I'm going to reuse it, that leads up from the track. And then the top brush, it's very obvious. But the bottom brush, I'm going to keep these wires here, the yellow and the red. I'm going to keep these because they lead to my bottom brush. So that I'll keep these as long as I can. I'll give myself a lot of length on them, so I can connect my orange and gray wire to the motor. These incandescent light bulbs, they're no longer in style. So even though this one still works, I probably won't be reusing it. So I'm keeping this red wire long because I may use it to connect to my bottom brush. So that's useful. And then I'm gonna just set up all my two track feeds now. Oh, by the way, these lifelike locomotives from that generation, the GP38, GP18, the F40, the F9, the FA2, they're all wired in the same way and work pretty much the same. This bottom screw here, it releases the weight, but it also releases the motor. And that's just going to give me enough of a little wiggle room so I can go and do a good job of removing these wires at the bottom. I'm probably going to release the two worm gears here, just so I have just a little bit more room to work. See, now I just released the tension on the spring, and that will just come out. Same with the front one, I'll just release the tension and bring it out. And then I'm not going to remove the motor completely. I just want to have a little bit of room to go get in there and take a good look at my wires, because I want to reuse them. But you can see these are my two bottom wires. I think this red one's going to be long enough. And the blue one, it's a little short, but I'm going to reuse it. Then I need this wire, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Here I've got the 2-track feeds from the front and the 2-track feed from the bottom, and I'll just keep a little bit of wire just to have a place to solder my orange and gray. So there, so my motor's already wired in. The track feeds from the bottom, and then the motor here is wired together. There, I have the yellow and green which connect to my motor. So I just have to put basically the decoder just between the track and the motor, and that's it. I'm good. I just need to lengthen my wire just a little bit. So I'm going to be using these. I found these at the dollar store and they're dynamite. I really like working with them. You always want to pre-tin your wires before you do anything. I just needed to lengthen my wire just a little bit. I'm going to tuck them in nice and neat. I'm also going to put some masking tape over the motor because you do not want to have a short circuit where your decoder and the motor is shorted. You can damage your decoder that way. I want to make my wiring as neat as possible. So I want the decoder to ride about here. I'm going to cut my red wire so that it can connect to the other wires. Same with the black wire, I want it to be cut precisely. The red on the red and the black on the black. So far so good. Now I've got to connect the two motor leads. I cannot run the engine now because the decoder has to recognize the motor. So at this point I can't test it. I've soldered the motor together. I'm still not 100% sure which way is the plus and the minus. So I'm gonna try it. If on my DCC controller it says forward and the locomotive moves forward, then I know I've done it right. And if it's the opposite, then I have to switch the wires around. So I'm going to do the initial programming now. Here's my controller. I have to find the locomotive. I get it all programmed now, and it says forward on my controller. Let's see if it goes forward. It's working, so that's really good news. It would probably work better if it was on the track. So let's try that again. So forward, it's going forward. That's very good. Very good news. I accidentally got it right. So that's awesome. Now I have to put in my LEDs. That's the next step. I made a huge mistake there. While I was testing it, these two wires touched and it produced a short circuit. I got really lucky. I pulled it out quickly, but you can see how hot everything got. It burned right through the insulation. The locomotive still runs. I'm lucky, but that was scary. These are the wires I'm left with. The white is the front headlight, the yellow is the rear headlight, and the blue is the common negative for the LEDs. And then this green one, it's an accessory. So you can choose whatever you like. Your imagination is the only limitation. So this could be a rotary beacon or number boards, could be ditch lights. So it's up to you really. I'm gonna ignore this one for the time being, but I am gonna set up here my front headlight. So I'm using these 06, 03 LEDs. So these you order them on eBay or Amazon or AliExpress, whichever you like. So these are very, very small little LEDs, and you order a 12 volt white. You can see 0603. So 12 volt white, so they come with a resistor like this. So I'm gonna just solder that in for the front and the rear headlight. Well, I tried to make this as neat as I could, but anyways, this is what it is. Alright, let's try the front headlight. Works perfectly. The back headlight. Awesome. Let's try moving forward. Quiet as ever. Let's try reverse. Still very quiet. So that is awesome. I'm really enjoying this. I'm gonna run this for a little while. All that's left to do is put the shell back on. And now it's time to run some trains. Well, I have to say this decoder is pretty good, especially considering I shorted it. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.